That's so funny. All right. We are here and we are live. Thank you so much for being here. I have Erin here. We are going to be talking all about life, all about how to create your own powerful life. So I'm super, super excited to jump into this subject and her story. This is going to be so much fun. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sabrina Victoria. I see you guys jumping on live. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already subscribed to wherever you're watching this at, make sure you do that. These podcasts are guaranteed to have you thinking differently about life and business. Let's jump right in.
Get ready, because today's guest is about to change the way you view your world. This is Her Talk Show, hosted by Sabrina Victoria.
If you are listening live, welcome. And if you're listening on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love. Listen, we have had over 600 women grace this stage. We are adding another one to the list today. Erin, she is a former leader in corporate America turned social impact entrepreneur, discovered the power of living intentionally with greater purpose and joy. She's passionate about sharing her journey to empower women to stop existing and start living. Super, super excited to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you, Sabrina. Excited to be here, girl. I'm loving it. The Her Talk Show is fire.
Yes, I love that we both have just enormous pictures behind us.
Gotta live life, right?
Yes. I remember when we first met up the first time, we were talking a little bit about the peacock.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the peacock behind you?
Yes, my husband is a very talented photographer. It's his side passion. And we were traveling. We've been blessed to travel the world. We went to Australia. And this peacock was just showing off. And so he captured this. And I thought, wow, I'm going to blow it up on a canvas and put it in my home for the color and the reminder pre-kids of travel. But I've actually come to learn, people have told me there are all these meanings behind a peacock. Like it's the divine feminine. It's this bird of integrity, like all of these things. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite pieces in our home for sure.
Yeah, so freaking cool. I absolutely love it. Well, you are bringing to us the topic of how beautiful life is and how important it is to create our own. And I'd like, before we jump into all of the awesomeness that you're going to be sharing with us, I'd love for you to kind of just start us out with, what does that even mean? Because we're all alive.
Yes.
Right. And we're all obviously feel as if we're creating a life, like we're all living every day. We wake up every day, thus. But what do you actually mean by this? What does it mean to create your own beautiful life?
Yeah, great question, Sabrina. And honestly, this is only something that I came across really 2.5 years ago in my own journey. I think so many of us, myself included, for the first 40 years of my life, live in a life of default, right? We are taught what the things that we're supposed to be doing and what we should be doing to live a good life. So you get good grades in school, maybe you get the good job, you kind of get married, you have kids. And so we show up in this way that is really not purposeful, not really planned, not intentional. We think we have a good life by all measures, but really there's something magical that happens when you tap into your unique gifts and talents and what it is that you love. And when you start to bring more of that purpose and joy into your life, everything changes. For example, when I left corporate America and I started understanding who I am and what I want in life and what brings me that joy. This sounds so cheesy, but I swear to God, I was having a cup of coffee outside on my front porch. And because I had designed my ideal life, I knew that I was living my best life. I was enjoying a cup of coffee outside. I saw the dew on the grass. The dew's there every morning, but I just never noticed it. My kids, I watched them experience the fun of playing in a parking lot, right? And these are things that happen all day, every day that we're just not in tune to unless we become more aware of how we are present, how we're experiencing the world, how we are truly living and not just showing up.
Absolutely. I know you talk a lot about being a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser. How has you really kind of pivoting into this new powerful Erin, how has that helped you recover
Yeah.
from being a perfectionist and a people pleaser?
Absolutely. Girl, I will keep it real. It is a lot of work. You
Yeah.
have to get uncomfortable, right? You have to be open to the journey and where it takes you. And as someone who lived most of my life by checking the boxes and by getting the good grades and showing up and doing the things that I should be doing in this world and really caring about what other people thought all the time, I didn't know it, but I was depriving myself of understanding who I am and what I truly wanted in life. And so it's been a journey to tap into that. And any entrepreneurs out there, there are days that are hard. You're going to face rejection. You're going to have to try and fail and all of those things. So from that journey, for me to go from a very, high performing corporate career where I knew exactly what I needed to do to perform, I did all the things to transition into entrepreneurship where I'm paving the way. I'm the one who's got to figure out how to make it all work and all come together and try new things and get creative. It was definitely a journey, and it's something that not only I experienced in business, but even in my personal life. I found that the things that I learned in building a business really transitioned well when I stopped caring what people think on social or, when I'm promoting different things or talking about different things that our business is doing. That brings power to your individual life too, with your family and your home, all these other areas of life as well.
That's awesome. You had mentioned that it's constant work, you know,
Absolutely.
stepping into this new persona. What does some of that work look like? Because there's individuals, by the way, we have a ton of people watching live. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. If you are watching on the replay, hashtag replay wherever you're at so we can send you some love. But a lot of people, first of all, I think can like unconsciously foresee the work, therefore they don't even touch it. They're like, I don't even want to touch this. And then there's other people that are like curious, but then they're like, wait a minute, it's work. What does that mean? I don't need work. I got enough shit I'm dealing with. What does that mean? What does it mean when you say it's constant work? What does that work actually look like? Can you like maybe give us an example of what that would look like?
Absolutely. So Sabrina, I think there's a couple different aspects of work that I've had to do just in my personal life, and then also just really on a day-to-day basis. Things like, journaling and, really affirmations, visualizations, understanding like who you are and what you truly want in life. And so one example of something I thought of the life that I was living was the good one and the one that I wanted, but it wasn't until I started realizing during the pandemic, like, yeah, it's great to have finances, but I'm missing my kids' birthdays because of business travel, or I'm dreading not just Mondays or Sundays, right? Like to get back into that. And so really uncovering, well, if I don't want this, then what do I want? And so starting to explore more of like really painting out that picture. There's an ideal day life exercise where it was really powerful for me to really think about, what do I want my life to look like? And I didn't know. And I think a lot of women like that are like that in life, where if we could choose anything, if finances weren't a limitation, or if we didn't have any constraints around things, like what would you want to live? What would you want to design? And I didn't know any of those things. And so I had to start small. Like I said, at first it was, well, maybe it's just a cup of coffee on my front porch. Okay, great. That's one small piece of it, right? And then it kind of builds over time. Well, now I have goals to double our impact. Our business empowers women to leave the sex trade or not choose which kid eats for the day. So really big impact goals, like, wow, I want to double and triple that impact and really grow in that way. And so I'd say the work can be as simple as journaling to get to know who you are, creating an ideal life, really what that looks like, and how do you start to build that and create that. And then just the day-to-day too. I've learned so much around gratitude. Oftentimes the world is so full with negativity, and you have to really be mindful about what you take in and really prime yourself for success every day. So I really start every morning with listing out, what are those things that I'm grateful for, and really starting from a place of every day doing a little bit of personal growth and development. So reading a book for 10 minutes or listening to a podcast while I'm emptying the dishwasher. And it's those little things, those little daily doses over time that truly create transformation. It's not that you do one thing one day for 2 hours and you're transformed, right? It's really those little atomic habits that you create that daily work on yourself to become aware of what's working, what's not, where you're at, where you want to go, who you want to become, what impact you want to make in the world, over time, that really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I feel as if one of the challenges that a lot of women or humans have is we hear someone like you. We're like, oh, yes, Erin, 100%. I'm going to start doing all the things. Then something happens, right? There's a hiccup where they have to stop journaling. They have to stop, eating healthy. They have to stop, or they do. They don't have to. They do. They just stop. And then there's this guilt and this shame of like, I'm a failure. And I'm never going to get to the point of what Erin is talking about because I just can't do it. Like I tried for such and such amount of time and it just doesn't work. I keep reverting back to the old me.
Yes.
What is your suggestion or what are your thoughts on somebody who does want to, but their journey continues to kind of, they fall off the wagon per se?
Yeah.
What should someone like that do? What's your advice?
I love that question, Sabrina. I think it is so common. And honestly, I think the biggest thing is just setting that expectation up front that you're going to drop off. You're going to have days where you fall off the wagon. And if you go in knowing that, then it's not a black and white, like, yes, I go from here to here immediately. It's an understanding that like perfection is impossible, right? So really progress over perfection is the mindset of, if I get that 1% better every single day, eventually that'll compound over time and really make that big difference. And so don't give up. It's not an all or nothing. It's a reset. Yeah. And also don't try to do everything at once. I'm one of those people who has big ideas and I want to just run for it all. And then I don't get very far in any of the things because you're trying to do all the things. And so really also becoming intentional about what is the one thing right now? What is the one thing that I want to focus on first, whether that be your family or your health or your finances, your business or career, and really hone in on establishing habits in that way so that you don't feel like you're overwhelmed with trying to make all of this change all at the same time and feeling like a failure, because that's when you just stop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very much an ebb and flow. And I think that's sometimes where the misstep is we feel like all the areas have to be balanced all at the same time. And that's not, that is not realistic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember I listened to a speaker one time and she said, balance is BS, really like it's impossible to be perfect in all the things all of the time. And so it's just important to make sure that you're doing a good job of the things that are most important, tapping into those, make sure that none of them are getting neglected for too long. But like if you've got a big business initiative, then maybe, right now it's our holiday season. So it's a busy time of year. So I know that I'm going to lean more into my business and just have to be intentional, plan out when is that time I'm going to spend with my kids and my husband and family and friends around that. And just knowing, okay, summer we ease up a little bit more too, right? So when you kind of have that idea of the ebb and flow of different areas of your life, you can plan so that you see that you're happy in all of those domains, but in a way where there isn't this constant balance. You're happy all the time at the peak in all of the areas, but overall that you're not letting anything that's really important drop to the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. You had mentioned briefly the work that you do. You had mentioned sex trade. Can you talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Sabrina, it's funny. God, universe, whatever you believe, sometimes has a vision for your life that is bigger than what you've ever expected. When I left corporate, I really was lacking meaning. I wanted to do something that I knew made a difference in the world and also paid something nice. I was leaving a really nice 6 figures and I wanted an opportunity to earn an income doing what I loved. And I work with a company called Threads Worldwide, and we create life-changing work through the sale of fair trade jewelry and home goods and bags and coffee. And what that means, Sabrina, is, I was in Bolivia in April and I got to meet women who literally could leave the sex trade because they have dignified work making jewelry. So a woman told her story of having to lock her 3 small children in the home at night and going out to work in the brothels to provide an income. I've gone to Guatemala in January to meet mamas who don't have to choose which kid eats for the day anymore because they can earn a dignified income making jewelry. And so our mission at Threads is, there are so many talented, amazing women around the globe, but they don't have the same access to resources. And so our goal is really to create that global marketplace where people can become that best version of themselves, right? And doing what they love and having independence and financial freedom and supporting their families in ways that they can be proud of. And so really, that's the work that I'm passionate about. I'm very blessed to be able to travel with my team to see our impact firsthand. And so it's a very different career. I never thought I'd be in jewelry or home parties or any of the things, but it's funny when you open yourself up to receiving whatever it is that is meant for you. Some amazing opportunities happen, and amazing, not just for you, but also for other people around the globe.
Absolutely. How has transitioning into entrepreneurship been for you?
Oh, girl. If I'm fully candid, it was a learning curve. I did not expect all this, and I'm so grateful for the journey. As I mentioned, the perfectionist, people pleaser in me, I thought I'd, go from one career to the next and kind of kill it. And it didn't happen overnight, right? And there is so much that goes into entrepreneurship, so much learning, so much adjusting, so much just really being flexible, right? And also being creative to identify opportunities. And so it's been exhilarating to be connected with amazing heart-centered women who care. It's been great to collaborate with women like you and others. It's been fun to travel and do all these things. And it's also been a journey of, am I enough? Can I do this? Will I be successful? Am I going to provide for my family with this career shift? Is this the right decision? Right. And I think that through the entrepreneurship journey, you begin to start with a little bit of hope, right? Like, oh, I hope this works out. And then that kind of grows into belief, like, yeah, I can kind of see this happening. And then it's just the knowing. And I feel like now I'm in that final stage of like, I know this is successful. I'm already seeing the fruits of that. And now it's excitement around what's to come. How can this get even better for life too, not just in the business domain.
Yeah. How has that worked with your perfectionism?
Oh my gosh, it has been definitely a challenge to really, when you're in business, you're going to hear no, right? When you're in business, your things aren't going to work out as you want them to. And so I had to let go of a lot of control. I had to learn to really just surrender and, plan what I could and do what I could. But I've really actually done a lot of work to go from head to heart, to really learn to trust my intuition, to really rely on myself, that I know the answers. I don't always have to seek kind of external guidance or validation or any of those things. And I think it's actually been really beautiful for my family as well. I have 2 small girls, and now I'm able to teach them about their power and their knowing and their ability to do hard things, right? And their ability to keep trying and to get creative and to know you're going to fail sometimes and have to adapt and adjust. And so I think it's been an amazing and a hard journey to come to, face to face with some challenges about yourself and some things that you need to work on. It's been hard work to overcome that. And then on the other end of it, to see your progress and your growth over the past, 2 years, it's kind of amazing when you stop and look back, right? We've all kind of gone through something that was hard and made it to the other side. And if we're thoughtful about that and reflective, I think we've seen like, wow, that all happened for a reason. And now I'm this new improved version because of that rough journey,
Yeah. I know you talk often about female empowerment, stories around female empowerment. Do you have a story you can share with us?
Absolutely. I would love to. One thing that I love about our jewelry is that everything comes with an artisan card. So you'll see like Santos, for instance, in Guatemala, right? There's a piece by every woman, a woman behind every piece of our jewelry. And Amlaset in Ethiopia actually turns bullet shell casings into bracelets, Sabrina. So Amlaset and her husband found out that they were HIV positive. Anywhere in the world that can be devastating, but especially in Ethiopia, there's a lot of stigma. So they were scared to send their children back to school. There's a lot of superstition. So she was told if she moves to this remote area in the mountains and bathes in this magical water, she would be healed. So they did that. They moved, they made this huge voyage to this really remote area with their 2 children, bathed in this water, and of course it did not heal them, right? Science. And she was left to a life of begging, which she describes as worse than being dead. And I just, I almost had an opportunity to start working at a cooperative to turn bullets into bracelets. And at first she said it was very hard. She didn't know if she could do it. And now she's so grateful for this work because she has a home and she has food and she can provide for her family, and she's not worried about what's going to happen today and tomorrow. And I love her journey, but also what it means for women in the United States. So you think you're having a bad day, like put on your bullet bracelet and know that you could do hard things. And I think there's so much power when we tap into, what women are doing individually, but also collectively. Like I can channel Amlset when I'm having a tough day. You touch your bracelet and then you're just reminded of the resilience and the strength that we all have when we believe in ourselves and when we work together, and see new possibilities.
That's awesome. How has your journey in entrepreneurship in the arena that you're in really helped you create a different vision for yourself outside of where you work? Because obviously, corporate America, the vision you had for yourself is completely different than the vision you have for yourself. So, how has the vision changed? And what is the vision?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think my vision for my life has absolutely changed. And part of that has been perspective, right? When you go to different places around the world, and not to focus too much on material things, but I think in the US, right, a lot of a measure of success is your finances and all of that. And so just really seeing how people around the globe can be happy with or without things, right? And just this reminder of how truly lucky and blessed we are. And so just that perspective, I think, has been a great thing. I think that, I've gone to Guatemala and we do dream circles. My 8-year-old daughter came with me on one of our, what we call our soul journeys. And we, meditated on Lake Atitlan, and we walked barefoot in nature after learning about regenerative farming. And we drew out our lives and our dreams and we shared them because collective dreams are unstoppable. And so even just having that experience with her just made me awaken into the future generation and what opportunities I'm providing for my kids and how I can teach them at a young age to always keep dreaming, right? Kids are so good at thinking big, and then they kind of get conditioned in learning and limiting beliefs. And I think my vision for my children is not so much do the check boxes, make money and be successful, but like find your purpose, find your joy, what makes you happy, and do that. So part of my definition of success for myself is really setting my kids up for happiness and really what that looks for them. And then just travel. Sabrina, travel is such a passion of mine. I've been able to take my husband on these trips. And so just really leaning into that and knowing exactly what I want, and also just slowing down in life, instead of going through the rat race, like really enjoying and living at a pace that feels good and following that joy. I take daily walks in nature now, even if it's just 10 minutes to get out. The little things, appreciating those little things, and also working toward those big goals of growing our company, and making that impact and traveling and really leaving a legacy for my kids, I think is thinking a lot bigger than what I used to.
Yes, thinking a lot bigger, I think, is key. And that's, I think, one of the joys of creating your own life. When you really start to step into what can I create for myself?
Yeah.
That's where the big vision really comes to a. Celeste is listening in the audience. She says, what is the one thing you learned about yourself, and what's your superpower?
I love that. The one thing that I've learned about myself is that I'm so much stronger than I ever knew. And I have the answers within. I don't need to go externally. I just need to slow down and really tap into that. And I think that one of my superpowers is helping other women to do the same. So I lead a team of women at Threads who have seen themselves become more confident and who have been able to achieve some of the things that are important in their lives and go on these trips and have more purpose and meaning. And I think that one of my gifts is to really just be holding up that mirror so that women see themselves and their full potential and what's possible, so that they can stop living in default and really create a life by design that they love as well.
What's your superpower?
I think my superpower is really just helping women see that in themselves. I think that oftentimes, I read a stat recently, 90% of mamas don't think we're enough, for example, right? And imagine if all of us really became that best version of ourselves. I think that my superpower is, because I've been through that, to understand that in myself, I can see that in others, and I highlight what their gifts are, and really just hold up that mirror so they see themselves for really who they are and what the possibilities are. And that is such a beautiful gift to have and to see. When you see a woman who lights up and now believes in herself and has confidence and can achieve big things, it's amazing.
Yes. Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you being here. We're obviously getting a really good idea of what you do, but if you could do me a huge favor and just tell us exactly what you do and who should be reaching out to you.
Yeah, thank you. So exactly what I do is I build a global marketplace for artisans around the globe by selling jewelry. So if you're looking for any holiday gifts, we'd love to help you with that. Meaningfully, sustainably, items that truly change lives. And also I lead a team of women. So women who've left jobs that no longer serve them to pursue work that they love, or women who just work part-time, 1-2 hour event a month to really get some extra income and have the opportunity to travel. So I would love to connect with anyone who is looking for gifts this holiday season, or who wants more, someone who's like seeking community or seeking more purpose and meaning in their lives. I would love to have a conversation and see if working with us is something that is appealing. We're less than 100 people across the entire United States, so a tiny company. My team is 40% of that, and we're going big places and having fun. So would love to connect with anyone who is ready for more and is heart-centered and wants to have some fun along the way.
Beautiful. And where can people find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Yeah, so social media, just Erin .threads worldwide on Insta, and then also just Erin Attere on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn as well with the name Erin Attere.
Awesome. And why do you do what you do?
I do what I do, Sabrina, because I believe that together we rise. I believe that life is not meant to be done in isolation. It's meant to be done in community. I believe that what I'm doing creates opportunities for others, but it also creates opportunities for me to live a life that I love. And I love the creativity and the community and the fun and the travel. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Sounds like you love it.
I do, girl. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And you as well, right? I mean, your passion for Her Nation, right? I mean, that's kind of, you're all about creating wing women and community and supporting each other. And that's what I just, I love. And I'm grateful that you're creating the space for others to really lean into that and really rise together.
Beautiful. I love that. Well, this has been absolutely phenomenal. For those of you that resonate with Erin and all the goodness that she shared today, make sure that you connect with her on social media. Her website, threadsworldwide.com, is in a clickable link in the description below, with her name obviously attached to that. And we love to connect people here on social media so that we can all continue to rise. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up?
Yeah, I think that start the journey today. I connect with so many women who are lacking joy in their day-to-day lives. They're in survival, doing all the things for all the people, and they're not really tuned in, tapped into like who they want to become. And so I say, prioritize yourself. You are worth it. And so figure out what are those things that light you up, and to start doing those things, even if it's tiny baby steps, one day at a time, because it's absolutely worth it to stop living in default and really follow your passions and live a life that you love.
Beautiful. Well, that brings us to an end of yet another incredible episode of Her Talk Show. Thank you, Erin, for sharing your wisdom, inspiring us all, and all those women that you are, inspiring and helping also. For those that are our dedicated listeners and are staying on to the very end here, thank you so much for being here and for hanging out with us. Remember to follow, like, and share. Once again, I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. I invite you to join our amazing community, Her Nation, where we continue to uplift each other every step of the way by having conversations just like this. Until next time, do something awesome.